All right. Hello, everybody. Great to see you. We are back for another episode of Bigfoot Encounters live from Bigfoot Society. We've got a few people hanging out already. Let's do a roll call real quick. Let's make sure people can hear me, though, first. If someone could let me know that you can hear my audio, please. Thank you, Kimberly. All right. Let's see who we've got. First here is Kristen Allison at 8:04 p.m. Central, Nebraska here. Good to see you. We got Ted, still in Arizona. Great to see you. We got Delroy here. Cy Mills, super hyped. Cypher saying, you guys just see the newest photos released? I don't know what you're talking about, but I would love to know. Give me some more info, please. Laura's here. Great to see you. Bush Ranger, great to see you, dude. We got Dustin Went here. Thanks for being a YouTube channel member. He says sweet, and he's from Iowa. We got Jackie Barnes. Great to see you, Jackie. Evening, everyone. I missed you all last week. Thanks for being a YouTube channel member as well. We got Kimberly Morgan is here. And Laura, thank you so much for the $2 super chat sticker. I really appreciate that. Anything given like that does go directly towards furthering the podcast and getting me out different places and things. Donnie, good evening, everyone. Thanks for being a YouTube channel member as well. We got Central Florida Bigfoot here. Good to see you, Matt. Hike with Mike is here. Hello from the land of the skunk ape. Hello, hello. We got good old Gene here from Iowa. Good to see you, man. It's probably because I need to get low. I need to get closer. Thank you, Cy Mill, for telling me about my mic. Hey, Scotty Barnes is here. Good evening, everyone. And we got Jermac10. Hello from Delaware, and thank you for being a YouTube channel member. Guys, we need to have a little bit of a chat first before we start out. So this little channel is starting to get a little bit bigger. And a few people are not wanting this show to happen. It's becoming very clear. So the workflow is going to be a little bit different. You're going to notice some things. So, for example, if someone calls in, I will be putting something on the screen so that some things can happen before I actually bring them on the show. Just because a few things happened last week that I was not okay with, and I will try to have that not happen again. But there are people that do not like what this show is doing, and for some reason are messing around. So gonna try to do my best there, guys. Yeah, that's right, Matt. Someone's in trouble. Yeah. So for all the new people, this is the Bigfoot Encounters live call-in show, and what this is I have this set up where people can go ahead and they can call in live with their Bigfoot encounter if they would like to share it on the air. This is broadcast at the same time, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter X, I believe. This is also recorded for potential use on the Bigfoot Society podcast. So you can read what's on my screen here. You will need to fill out a guest release form first by going to bit.ly/Bigfoot form. That allows me to use your audio potentially on the podcast, and just you are aware that you're being recorded. And then there's the phone number that you can call there, 515-809-0165. Thanks, Laura. You handled it well. Appreciate that. Yeah, Sky is right. I guess some people must not like us seeking knowledge. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree. Yeah, Ted, just some people are messing around and not being cool. Calling in, not being cool. So we're going to move past it, and we're going to have a great night. So we'll see if we get some calls. If not, we'll have a good time chatting in the comments. Had a really fun episode come out today. Actually, let me bring it up here. Well, I'm not going to play it, but just so I can see it here. The one that came out today, I really was really cool. This guy named Nav is a wildlife conservationist from India. It's very, very cool. He had some great thoughts about starting a conservation effort before Sasquatch or Bigfoot has actually even been discovered. It was very, very cool. It's a great conversation. I would say definitely check it out. Oh, hey, thank you for the thumbs up, Larry, on Facebook. Can see you there. Oh, this is cool. I can see exactly. Okay, so we got 59 people on YouTube. We got 9 people on Twitter X. Good job, guys. We had one person on Facebook. Maybe they'll be back later. Let's see. Let me see if I can give you a sneak peek of what's coming up, guys. Let me bring up the old future episodes here. Give you a sneak peek. Oh, guys, next coming up is some really good ones. If you were hoping for some new Oak Ridge, Oregon episodes, they are coming up. There's a remote episode out in the woods at a cabin outside of Oak Ridge that's going to rock your face. It's so good. And if you've been waiting for me to share encounters that I took during the festival, that's coming out next week too. So you are going to love it if you've been into the Oak Ridge, Oregon episodes. Yeah, Jackie says, I just listened to that. It was an awesome episode. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Jay is a really cool guy. He's a guy that I met at the booth in Oak Ridge, Oregon, and I actually I recorded his account at the booth first, but there was just so much background music, and he talked for 20 minutes, but at the end of that, he was like, you know what? We need to talk for a lot longer. And I was like, let's set something up after this festival. But I have put that 20-minute small episode up in the Patreon, which is pretty cool. If you guys are into that. Yeah. Thank you, Jackie, for reminding me, guys. If you've heard me talk, I've talked to Henry Franzoni a few times. Unfortunately, Mr. Franzoni did pass away on Wednesday. We lost him way too soon. Way too soon. I could have talked to him for hours and hours more. And I did I actually was the person that interviewed him last. So if you want to hear the last interview with Henry Franzoni, you can listen to that. It was out a few days ago. But yeah, thank you, Jackie. It was quite timely. Simil, hold on. Let me look. You know what? I'm not sure. Simil, I'll have to look into that. That's a name I haven't heard. Hopefully that's not a fake name. Yeah, Brian, rest in peace, Henry. Absolutely. He knows, hopefully he knows all the answers he was seeking now. Absolutely. Let's see. What are you guys up to here? So let me know if anyone in the comments has any Bigfoot adventures or Bigfoot festivals. They're coming up before the winter. I've been helping getting ready the Van Meter Visitor Festival in Van Meter, Iowa. We've got that in 4 weeks. So that will be my last festival I'll be at. If you want to say hi to me, I will be at that festival. You can come by the booth. I'll also be running around trying to run the festival at the same time with some other people on the committee. It'll be a good time. But last year was great. Talked to a ton of people about their Bigfoot encounters in Iowa. Had some people bring some casts they had made. It was fantastic. So I'm hoping that the same thing happens again. But let me see here. Reach. Oh, wow. The festival, Brian, is called the Van Meter Visitor Festival. It's on September 28th. It's the last Saturday of the month of September. It's a festival not about Bigfoot, but it's about a cryptid in Iowa. But we make sure there's a Bigfoot presence there. Let's see. Oh yeah, Jackie, thanks for reminding me. So also a great collaboration Thursday with a Flash of Beauty peeps honoring Henry. Anyone that hasn't seen it should. Yeah, so I was Tobe Johnson invited me up to come on his live stream on Thursday over at the Flash of Beauty channel on YouTube, which if you don't know about that channel, you should check it out. But I was on their last live stream and I was able to share some thoughts about the life of Henry. And yeah, definitely check that out, guys. Bush Ranger, Jeremiah, I don't know how you find the time, dude. It's all about time budgeting. And there you go. But yeah. Good luck with the festival. That's a lot of work for you. Yeah, it is. I'll say that much, but we have a few people on the committee, and each person definitely does more than their fair share. Guys, we've got 85 people hanging out here. This is the Bigfoot Encounters live call-in show, and also we're just hanging out in the chat. But if you would like to call in with what you've experienced live Bigfoot encounter, you can go ahead and first fill out the Bigfoot form, bit.ly/Bigfoot form. It's a guest release form I have, and then you can call in 515-809-0165. Let's see. Kelly, when I moved to West Virginia, I figured that I would hear more Bigfoot stories, but it seems like Dogman is more popular here. Not sure what I think of Dogman, but I believe in Bigfoot. Interesting. Kelly, thank you for being a YouTube channel member as well. I appreciate your support. Yeah, the Dogman stuff freaks me out. And guys, I get emails and messages all the time saying, hey, Jeremiah, when are you going to start doing Dogman? Guys, I'm not. Because one, it freaks me out. Two, I try to focus specifically on Bigfoot. If I'm a Bigfoot channel, I need to be focusing on that. But I will tell you this. I just interviewed a guy, the Bigfoot encounter from Tomahawk, Wisconsin. And that town is weird. And he also shared some Dogman encounters from the same town. So my one caveat is if I'm interviewing someone about Bigfoot and Dogman comes up organically and they have stuff to share, I'll allow them. They can bring it up and they can share it. But I'm just going to focus on Bigfoot. Guys, there's so much Bigfoot stuff going on, so many people that need to share their encounters. There's not enough time for me to deviate to other things now. It has to be 100% Bigfoot. Dogman is hard to wrap your head around. Absolutely. Jackie, I still think those stories that involve both Bigfoot and Dogman should be included. Yeah, absolutely. And see, because it's an important part of Bigfoot, because if you think about it, there's places like, there's Land Between the Lakes, where there's a big Bigfoot and Dogman presence. And I've mentioned this before. I've alluded to it. There are other places in the U.S. Where I cannot mention where they are, but there is a heavy back and forth between Dogman and Bigfoot. And, man, guys, just be careful when you go to some state parks. That's all I'm going to say. It's wild. Dogman seems more malicious than Bigfoot. I would agree 100%. There's no nice Dogman encounters. Ooh, Jackie, I just recently found out about Dogman being in the same area as one of my possible sightings. Is that in Oak Ridge or where is that? I really hope there's no Dogman stuff in Oak Ridge. Guys, I appreciate everyone hanging out here. We've got 65 on YouTube, 16 on Twitter X. Whoa, 17 now. Crazy, guys. If you would like to call in and share your encounter live, you can go ahead, head over to bit.ly/Bigfoot form and then fill out the guest release form real quick. I'll get an email saying that, hey, we're good to go. And then you can call on in 515-809-0165. We're having a good time. Let me check a few things here. Ooh, you know what we could do? If you're YouTube, okay, hold on. Up the McKinsey River, specifically the Blue River area. Oh, snap, Jackie. Yikes. All right, so if you're a YouTube channel member, go ahead and put a county and state, and I will read I'll read a Bigfoot encounter reporting from the BFRO website. So while we're waiting. Oh, someone actually commented over on X. Cool, this never happens. Ragdoll Blues. The way to any creature is through their stomach. Find out what it likes, grab a game camera, and become famous. Yeah, that's interesting. Michelle, good to see ya. PA Wilderness Adventures. Hello, all. Good to see ya. Let's see. Scotty says, I don't think a Bigfoot encounter would bother me too much, but I'm hoping not to encounter a Dogman. Absolutely. All right, Jackie. Tillamook. I think I said that right. Tillamook County, Oregon. Let me bring this up. All right. Yeah. That's why we vet. That was a gentleman where I'm going to talk to him off air. It wasn't an encounter. He just he was concerned about it was not for the show. So that's how it's going to work, guys. It was not an encounter. This is a show where people share their encounters live, and it might lead to something. He gentleman from down south, but just the ones that are only 100% legitimate are going to get through. That's how we're going to do this show from here on out. It has to be 100% legit, guys. I'm going to do my absolute hardest to make sure that calls on this show are legitimate. Let's get caught up with the comments here. Yes, Leslie. Hey, Leslie, good to see you. The festival Jeremiah will be at is in Van Meter, Iowa. Absolutely. Okay, let me get back to reading a report. Let's read a report that, let's see. Oh, Slay is in here. Good to see you, Slay. Jackie. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to read. Here we go. July 2013, July 21st, 2013. Near Nehalem, Oregon. I'm probably saying that wrong, but hey, there we go. We were able to, large upright bipedal animal covered in dark brown or black hair. The creature sat on a log, got up, looked at us, and seemed nonchalant. We were able to observe him for 20 minutes at least. He had sat down and would stand up and watch us. He would turn left as watching to the left, then turn back to us again. Then he turned right and took a couple steps, watching something else. Then again, turned back to us. We could see him holding something in his right hand. He never held it in both that I could see. I would be happy to speak to anyone about this if anyone has questions. I know what we saw. Both my cousin and I are experienced in the woods and are hunters. We know our animals. This was not a bear. He stood almost the whole time, and when he did sit, he sat straight up. I did take pics before we seen him of where he was. He might be in them. Very, very interesting. There you go, Jackie. I believe Kelly had a request as well. All right, Mercer County, West Virginia. Let's go. West Virginia. Mercer County. Hey, you got two, and they're both Class A. So, oh snap! This is okay. Well, let's go for it. All right. Repeat visitations described near rural home outside Princeton, July 2006. On a That's why we're vetting, guys. Yep. Yeah, I'm not so sure about. Yeah. All right. There's a lot of people trying to mess around right now. That was a no, guys. Yep. Yeah. All right, let's continue. Let's see. Let me make sure. Okay, it's on the screen. All right. On a hot summer evening between July and August 2006, I had the window of the bedroom open. I heard very close moaning or howling from our open bedroom window of our home around 3:45 in the morning. The howling and noise woke me from a sound sleep. I could not get my husband awake, who was sound asleep at this time. So I tried quietly. The howling or moaning at first sounded like that of another type of animal in pain, more like a large pig or cow at first, but changed to sound like something very large in size and getting very upset. I did some research before contacting you, and I heard what sounds like a bear on various recordings, as well as other type of animal recordings. This animal in no way sounded like that of a bear or anything else I'd heard in the past. Finding your website and listening to the recordings of moaning and such brought chills up my back. They sound so familiar to that night but I still cannot be certain. We have a small spaniel mixed dog that sleeps in our basement garage area located under our home. Upon hearing the howling outside that night, the dog moved to the garage door area located directly under the bedroom window and barked like being startled from sleep 3 times. I could tell the creature I heard moaning and howling moved to the garage door under our open bedroom window, which is 2 stories high, and growled very deep at our barking dog while striking or smacking above the garage door. The dog stopped barking. Then I heard nothing out of our dog or from the animal outside the window again that night. I was too frightened to move and look outside. For a long time prior to this, I had a strange, unexplained feeling of being watched while being outside on our home's patio. This patio faces pretty dense wooded area on 3 angles back there. Something just made me feel uncomfortable even in daylight hours out there that I had not felt before since moving here. Although a bit odd, I no longer have the same feeling. On 2 different nights prior, I couldn't sleep and heard what sounded like small rocks hitting the brick outside of our home close to our bedroom area. I assumed it was just the home settling while the temperature was cooling down the late evenings. We live in a pretty dark, not much light in this area at all, heavily wooded and somewhat quiet area just outside of town. We have several deer, turkey, rabbits, squirrel, and other small game that roam through our woods and property. Very interesting. All right, let's see. Hey, Antonio's here. I new to this channel, never heard of it. Well, welcome. Let's see. Hey, Donnie, good to see you over on Facebook. Let's see. Mark Paul, my old friend, good to see you. Are they messing with you again? A little bit. It's all right, Mark. We got a handle on it. Good to see you here, pal, as always. Antonio, I have talked to Martin Groves before in the past. I've not talked to DA and Matt Ench. I will try to put that on the list. Let's see. Oh, we've got some interesting. Dustin says, Gene, I've heard they were there. Wife heard Ohio calls at Lake Ikaria. Definitely said that wrong. Near Corning, Iowa. Went in a while, 2 calling each other. She didn't believe before, but does now. Dustin, I think we've talked before, haven't we? Like in emails. Let's see. Oh, hey, Llewellyn. I know who you are. Good to see you. Dogman in South Oregon at Wolf Creek in Ruh-roh. Hey, the Bigfoot influencers are here over on X Twitter. Good to see you. Oh, Antonio's from Des Moines. Awesome. Let's see. Oh, we got to check a form here. Let me check this form here. Okay. Oh, Northeast Sasquatch Studies and Research is his area. Oh yeah, Ben Llewellyn. Yeah. I have been trying to talk to Ben forever. I've been trying to get Ben on the show because he does some really cool stuff. He's got some great things that he puts up on TikTok, and he is a very cool up and coming researcher out in that area. It's just hard. Yeah, Mark. No problem, dude. I'm trying to help out the most I can with my connections. So, future's looking bright for you guys. That's all I'm gonna say on this platform. But yeah, good to see you here, Mark. As always. Let me make sure that the phone is revved up, ready to go. Just checking something out. Okay. All right. Well, we did get another guest release form. We'll see if we get a call in here in a few minutes. We will give it a try, guys. But man, we're having a great time just kind of chatting around in the comments here. Llewellyn, no stories of dog-leg cryptids so far around Lowell, but Oak Ridge maybe. Oh boy, yeah. I don't want to have to deal with Dogman out in the woods around Oak Ridge, but it's good to know they could be out there. Oh, hey, how's it going, man? Stra8 Goo Kin TV, good to see you. I know I've talked to you before in email. You've had some interesting things happen. We've got 76 people on Twitter. Oh, no, 76 on YouTube. 36 on Twitter X. That's wild. Wow, I had no idea so many people watched over on Twitter X. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, we got a ton of people in the of Iowa people in the chat today. Good stuff. For those, now we got Mitzi. Now we got another. Okay, woo woo. Happy Saturday. Heading out to Northeast Iowa next month. Hopefully we don't get anything creepy. Well, I'll tell you this, Mitzi. I've been hearing some wild stuff. Some wild stuff out of Yellow River. So if you're going to Yellow River, watch your back because there's some crazy stuff. I'm trying to set up an interview with someone who had some wild stuff happen in Yellow River. So, Bushranger, do you want me to call Jeremiah and give an update of the going on here? Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. You could definitely do that. I think that would be very interesting. Mark Paul, Jeremiah, the guys came down, stayed 14 hours. We heard a loud growl and some rock clacks. Had a blast. Thermals going in every direction. Mark, that's crazy. Brian, good to see you, man. Happy Saturday to you, too. Let's see. Jackie says to Llewellyn, the way these mountains are, if they're in Blue River Cougar Reservoir, I'm sure they could be in the Oak Ridge area. Yeah, well, that's true. It's all connected out there. I figured that out pretty quick. Daniel says, Elbert County, Georgia, and Wilkes County, Georgia has had several sightings. Lake Hartwell area. I will keep that in mind. Thank you, Daniel. Llewellyn, Loon Lake, Oregon. All right. Well, let's make sure that the audience can hear you first, Rod. If you want to go ahead and say a few words.
All right.
All right.
All right. Well, this is Bush Ranger from the chat. I hope you can hear me.
Perfect. We will make sure. I want to hear someone in the comments say, Mark, so you will hear my wild stories next week on the podcast. Okay. Brian and Kristen. Okay. We can hear you. So, Rod, you've called in before. I'm going to put do not disturb on real quick. So, yeah, you're in the Patreon. So you've got some interesting stuff going on. You were telling a few of us the other night, and so you're calling in to give an update about what you're dealing with right now. It sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I'll start about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, getting on 2 weeks. I bumped into the neighbor behind us that owns the 300 acres. And he just uses it for hunting. And I was down at my bottom gate, and I was coming in, and he was loading his side-by-side up and fills his feed bins up and all that for his deer feeders and stuff. And I was just talking to him, and we were talking about deer season and so forth. And then I just brought it up in conversation because I really don't care anymore who I talk to about it. I'm just like, have you seen this? Have you seen that? And so I just said to him, I said, have you had weird stuff going on in your place? You seen some weird stuff? And he said, oh, yeah, what do you mean? Mountain lion, stuff like that, bear, seen black bear. I'm like, no. I'm like, like talking Bigfoot. And he sort of like laughed, and he said, well, it's funny, you bring it up, but we've had about 12 months ago, he said, I think it was about 12 months ago, said that they spotted two larger ones, and then it was a week or so later they saw the two smaller ones. Now, he seems to think that I don't know if he thinks it's a family. Well, that's what he's like. It could be a family. It could be just smaller versions of them, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting, and we're talking about it. And, he saw him from across his field. He's got a couple of big fields behind my property, and that's where he hunts. And he saw him on the tree line on the other side. He knew they were different because he could gauge the heights from the trees over there. But what got me is he said he didn't want them bothering him where he was hunting, so he put a tire swing in the woods for him. Now, I don't know whether they're playing on him or what they've done, but I just thought it was funny that he thought he was going to set up this tire swing for him just to keep him away from his tree stand. So that was interesting. I think I've told him Patreon, my other neighbor too, at the front of my property. He's about a mile from me. He was hunting the back of his property where he had an encounter with one which screamed at him. And it was him and his son. They just got out of their tree stand and come back to their truck, and were going to drive back to their driveway. And it walked in front of the vehicle and screamed at him, and then just walked off. And they're both, he would be about 60 years of age. His son was with him. He was close to 30. He's a Navy veteran, there's no reason why. And that was brought up before I even asked anything about it. And he just openly said, be careful going hunting. We got Bigfoot down the back, and I'm like, what? And then he led into that. So leading up to what happened here on, it was Thursday night. I believe it was Thursday. I was just getting ready for bed. I go to bed quite early because I get up at 3:30, 4 o'clock to go to work. And my neighbor messages me. This is a different neighbor. So it's now we've got four people that live around us that have had sightings. And he's coming in our driveway. We share a driveway. Our driveway is about a mile long. And he's coming in the driveway, and my top field is on the edge of his property. So he's coming in, and his lights shine across the field when he comes in and pulls into his shop. And as he's turning his truck in, he cuts across the field, and he said something about 7.5 foot tall, 2 feet, 2 legs, walking across the field. And the lights shone across it and hit it, and he's messaging me, and I put that in Patreon as it was happening. You know, that
it was crazy.
I posted them in Patreon, and he's like, man, some crazy stuff. I won't say what he said, but he cursed in it, but he's like, there's some crazy stuff happening on the ridge. And, you know, I messaged him back, you know, and then called him, and I walked up towards my top field, which is where I'm standing now. I'm actually outside. I've been sitting out here listening to you tonight. It's been beautiful. But the top field is from here. It's probably about 200 yards away. And, yeah, I walked up there and spent probably 45 minutes up there, and I couldn't hear anything, didn't see anything else. But he's, you know, this is not a guy that would BS you, anything like that. He knew he was petrified when I was talking to him. You know, like, not petrified, but, you know, you could tell he was upset about it. Yeah, and it's been crazy. And so I've got permission from my neighbor at the back on the 300 to actually go into his property and have a look. So I'm going to go down there and see the swing and everything he set up.
Oh, wow.
See if I can see anything.
Rod, sorry, real quick.
Yeah.
Can you what, I forget what you said last time about what you're okay with people knowing what your area is. There's a few people that are,
oh yeah,
like,
you can
where's
tell
Rod
them.
from?
That's Lewis. Yeah. Lewis County, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's right next to Marshall County. We got Marshall County on one side. We're Lewis County. Below us is Lawrence County. Well, yeah, Lawrence County, and then you got Maury County, which is Columbia. I'm about an hour and a half south of Nashville. And yeah, that's fine. You can tell them. You know, I don't really want to give out the town that I live in here, but because it's only a really small little town.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to do that.
You know, yeah, I don't want to have people coming down here and trespassing and stuff like that.
No.
And trying to find them. But yeah, but there's been some crazy stuff going on. But yeah, like I found the tree break. I think I put that in Patreon, pictures of the tree breaks that we've had at the back of my property there, or on my property. And that was probably about 7 foot up in the air where the tree break was. It was a green tree. You could tell it was a green tree when it was broken.
Yep.
And I put that in Patreon. Everyone's seen that. Yeah, it's been pretty wild, man. I'm finding stuff that I would have normally overlooked. Now I've become better educated in what to look for. And that's mainly due to you guys in here, like, pointing in the right direction to say, hey, this is what you got to look for, and this is what this could be,
that's
and
awesome.
what that could be. So yeah, it's been good, but there's definitely stuff happening. It doesn't happen every night, obviously, but you know, I think it's validating more what I saw a couple of years ago when I had the visual sighting. You know, now people around me that have actually seen these things too. You know, so yeah. So I just thought I'd give everyone an update. That's what's happening. I know a lot of people in Patreon knew what was going on, but tell everyone else, and yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I think you're. I'm trying to remember. I think you were putting stuff in the production assistant, because we have like the different like chats going on.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I might have. Yeah. But
Yeah.
I can stick them over in the other one, but I just didn't know where to put them. I just thought, oh.
Yeah, I would say if you're cool with it, just put it in like the main one so that everyone over there can see if you're comfortable with that. But I would be really interested once you get to that tire swing, and like I would say take time to look around, see if you can see any like hairs around the tire swing or the tree that it's on. And I mean, you could really get into it if you want. You could even have like tweezers and a bag and to put the hair in, and
Yeah.
it's whatever you want to do. But I mean, that'll be cool. At least get pictures of it, maybe. But
Yeah, I'm going to go down. I'll take some pictures of it and
awesome.
everything because, I was just amazed that he said, "Oh, I put this swing down there for them to play on so they wouldn't bother me while I was hunting in my tree stand." I thought that was interesting. So, but I thought I'd just share that with everyone.
Rod, when you called a few ago, did you? I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that. It's been a while, but because you talked about like what it was that you saw and you described it. I think you described it pretty well.
Yeah, well, I'll give you a recap on it. I was on my 4-wheeler and I was riding one of my trails down near my spring. And on my property, I've got about 3 or 4 different little waterfalls, and it's all spring fed. And I was just following the water line, and they'd cleared some land after this sighting, but the land where I saw it was all woods with real thick old growth. And they've just cleared it now. And that's when I called because everything was activating again. It was just getting crazy around here. You could hear sounds in the woods. You could hear just stuff that just made you feel uneasy, which I'd never heard here before. But this particular day, I'm on my 4-wheeler, and I'm just cruising along this trail, and I come to like a Y section in the trail. One went up a hill, and the other one kept going around alongside the spring. And I caught something out of the corner of my eye, and I turned my head to look at it, and there was literally at the time I thought, oh, that's a bear. And I've lived in North Carolina. I've seen plenty of black bear, and I'm like, no, that's too big to be a bear. Pulled back. By the time I got my 4-wheeler, anyone familiar with 4-wheelers, it takes you a second sometimes to get it in reverse. Pull back, and I pulled back, and I'm looking, and as I got back there, it just off into the woods. It was gone. And recently, I've just been back to that site, and I stepped up the ledge where I saw it. And I know exactly where I've seen it because I know the trees, everything. I spent so much time down in these woods. I knew the exact trees that had put its hand on to pull itself up the ledge. And where the hand was, this creature, it was, I would say, from the trail up to the tree, it was still maybe 7-8 foot up. So it put its hand up above its head, pulled itself up the ledge, and then went off into the woods. And I didn't see its face. I didn't see any sort of build to it. Like I couldn't define any of the muscles or anything like that. But just the action that it took to get up that ledge, it wasn't a bear. Bears don't climb up things like that. They would just barrel up there, scrape the crap out of the ledge, trying to get up and be off. And you'd hear them crashing through. You know, I've been hunting in North Carolina with black bear around, and they'll crash through when they're trying to get away from something. They don't care. They're like a bulldozer going through the woods. But this was quiet. There was not a sound. And yeah, that's what I saw down there. And there's this one particular spot where it was heading, and I don't like going down there too much because it's just I've said it all along. Even before I thought I had these creatures on my property, that it was a perfect ambush point for something, for predators to be in, because they're pushed up to one side to a creek, and the other side's a high cliff face, probably 40 feet cliff face. So you're funneled into this zone. And I was just down there and walking down to this particular spot just about 2 weeks ago, and I walked up on a coyote. You know, I was 20 feet from it. There's so much predator activity down there, and that's why it makes you feel uneasy. But that's the path that that creature was taking.
Mm.
And yeah, it was weird, man. It was something that really put the hair up on the back of my neck, and I couldn't explain it for a long time. And I sort of think I knew what it was, but I didn't want to say it, because you sort of, there's a sort of stigma to it. I thought, like, it still is. But I'm learning to live with that now. I'm just like, you know what? I know what I saw. And I know what I've seen.
Yeah,
and I know what I've heard.
You're past the point now. It definitely sounds like Rod. And I appreciate you sharing. Sometimes at the time when it's happening, you're sharing in the chat that we have in the Patreon group, which is really cool. It's kind of there's a whole like YouTube channel membership, but like the Patreon has a community going on over there, and you're able to chat with other people. And I mean, Rod's been throwing in pictures and stuff that's going on around his property, and it's really cool stuff. So I appreciate you doing that. But it definitely will be interesting to hear updates from you in the future for sure. No
problem. I'll keep everyone informed.
All right. Sounds good.
All right. Well, best of luck tonight with
right.
all the problems.
You got it. Good to talk to you, man.
All right. All right. You too, bud.
Yep.
Right, bye.
Hey, that was great. Rod is a cool guy. We've been chatting a bit in the Patreon, and also he's been sharing quite a bit in the chat in there. So thank you, Rod, for calling on in. Let's see. Checking. If you were just trying to call in, I didn't get a guest release form for you. If you could fill that out first, please. You can go to bit.ly/Bigfoot form. I will definitely need to see that first, and then you can give a call back in, please. What's this? Hold on, I need to hop over to Google Voice for a minute. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I'm checking a few things real quick. Hold on. I'm going to mute myself for a minute. All right, looks like I'm just juggling a few things in the background. Looks like there's some really interesting conversations going on the chat here. Let's see. Slay says, a lot of us have experienced things like feeling watched or hearing that eerie silence. Nothing to call in about yet, but if we keep going out, more will happen, I'm certain. Oh, man, wow. Kelly says, if I don't see or hear any birds or squirrels, I leave. Interesting. Yeah. You definitely want to be aware of when stuff gets quiet. I experienced that out in Oregon, out in the woods, and that was a pretty creepy thing. All right, I need to go on mute for a minute. We got some. It's interesting tonight on the back end, guys. If you could see what's going on, but I am doing my due diligence to make sure that only the solid callers get on through. We're up to 154 live. Appreciate everyone being here. We got 50 over on Twitter X. We got 105 on YouTube. We are having a good time. Again, this is Bigfoot Encounters Live on from Bigfoot Society Podcast. Hold on one second here. All right. You refresh the Google Voice here. If you've got a live Bigfoot encounter, you can go ahead and fill out the guest release form here. It's bit.ly/Bigfoot form. Phone number is 515-809-0165. We've been going for about an hour. Antonio, I think Dogman, Bigfoot Society, brother. I don't know about that. It's funny, though. Let's see. Patrick says, long way from when this first started. Yeah, you got it, man. Absolutely. Koa over on Twitter X says, aloha, Jeremiah. Mahalo again for your cast. Were there ever reports of Bigfoot UFO meetings, encounters, implications? Yeah, totally. So if you look into Chestnut Ridge in Pennsylvania, southwest corner of the state, and look into books by Stan Gordon, and you'll see a lot of accounts where there's been a UFO sighting and then a Bigfoot right after it, or a Bigfoot seen with a UFO. Lots of really crazy stuff. Stan Gordon over the years has captured a lot of really awesome encounters, and you definitely would want to check that out, Koa. So yeah. Slay, that sounds interesting. You'll have to tell me more about that. That sounds really, really interesting, what you're talking about there. Wow, there is just a lot of people messing around on the back end right now. But we're not going to let it mess with us. Let's see. Tam Tam says, my cousin lives in the Pulaski area, and she has heard baby cries from her woods at night. The Tennessee River is right next to her house. Eerie. Oh, man. That is wild. Let's see. We got Brandon, grandmother and her sister picking brush in Shelton, Washington, 1975 to 1980. Just finished up, got in the car, and 2 minutes later, a Bigfoot walked right in front of them. Didn't make eye contact. Whoa. Frank, has anyone been to the Sasquatch farm in Pittsburgh, Tennessee? Jackie, I wish you would have said which reservoir south of Oak Ridge you were when you had the flash encounter. I'll show you right now, Jackie. Let me bring it up. I'll show you on a map. All right. So Make sure, Jackie, you can see it, right? Okay. So Jackie, I was driving from Oak Ridge, and I went down this road here, and I was headed towards Hills Creek Lake Reservoir, and it happened. I can't say specifics, but is somewhere from where it goes off of 58 down to the reservoir. It was somewhere on that area. So not down at the reservoir, but it was after I turned off from 58 in that stretch right there. So I hope that makes sense. Let's see. Oregon Wildman, aka Sasquatch. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, friend. Good to see you. Simil, do you think Bigfoot collect rocks to communicate? Absolutely. Do I have a lot to prove that? No, but going by the Olympic Project account where they found the two rock clackers up on the ridge that were overlooking where the nests were, I'd say, yeah, that could probably be used as a communication alert device. But I mean, no way to prove 100%, but I think it's a pretty good idea. Let's see, let me check. Wow, this is wild. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here today. Man, we got 164 people here. This is pretty wild. Almost 60 people on Twitter X. We're going to give it just a few more minutes. If someone wants to go ahead and call on in with their encounter, feel free to, let me take this off. You can fill out a guest release form, bit.ly/Bigfoot form. And then you can call on in 515-809-0165. We'll give it about another 5 minutes. But I appreciate y'all being here. Oh, my goodness. A lot of stuff in the background. Yeah, Jackie, there's some wild stuff that is going on in... Oh, wow. Slay says, I heard a whoop last night, but I'm 99% sure it sounded like a person seeing if they'd get a return whoop. Oh, that's funny. Well, you never know, right? You never know. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? I wonder, can I? Oh, yeah. I totally blocked these numbers. Can I, though? Well, let's see. Bush Ranger, good to hear from you again. I haven't whooped yet. A little worried about what I will get back. Well, I get it. The one you really need to be worried about utilizing is the Sierra Sounds. This call similar to the Sierra Sounds is what started all the issues up in the woods in Oak Ridge before I got out there. If you listen to episode 420, and also, I mean, the Sierra Sounds have started a lot of really crazy stuff. So yeah, I don't know if a whoop would cause an issue. It might, but the Sierra Sounds would definitely cause some interesting things to happen. So be aware of that. Pat, yeah, some people are being silly, but it is what it is. All right. Well, I appreciate y'all being here. A few reminders. Let's see. If you're not aware of the Bigfoot Society podcast, make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the bell icon so you get recommended of all episodes that release. If you go to Bigfoot Society on YouTube, or you can go to any major podcast platform and subscribe to the Bigfoot Society podcast there. We got some wild, wild stuff coming out. We've had some really awesome episodes that have come out lately. One that is my favorite is, let me pull it up real quick. The one that released 2 days ago, Standoff on the Hill, it's an Oak Ridge encounter. That one is just fantastic. Let's see. Oregon Wild Man. Careful about calling them in. You'll never know what you will get. You think you want to have a sighting until you do. Yeah. That reminds me actually of the episode from a few days ago. Yeah, you guys really need to listen to that. It's a good reminder of what can happen if you make a call. So, oh, what's this one? Hold on, I need to double check something real quick, guys. I'm gonna go on mute for a minute. All right. No, Oak Ridge is near is up in Oregon in the Willamette National Forest. Yeah. Oh, Slaya. The episode with Daniel is great, right? That hasn't released to the public yet. When that episode releases, it's gonna rock some faces off. That is a cool one that you were just able. I think I just released that for the Patreon and YouTube channel members. But guys, I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for tonight. But thank you all for being here. And if you have a friend where they have a Bigfoot encounter and they haven't shared it, feel free to pass on my information. You can pass on an email, bigfootsociety@gmail.com. But appreciate you all being here. Thank you to Rod for calling in. And you guys have a good one. Hope to see you next time.